What is up, Raider Nation? I am your Las Vegas Raiders beat writer on SI and the host of the Las Vegas Raiders Insider Podcast here again with my beautiful bride, Shannon. We're both wearing pink today. That was not planned either, just kind of spontaneously erupted. I got to tell you, the other day, Shannon, I don't know what you've done, but my clothes keep smelling like precious. I like it. Anyways, it smells really good. But thank you for joining me, sweetheart. As you guys know, Maxx Crosby's been traded. No surprise there, no shock there at all. Anyone involved in it knew this was coming. This is not a shocker for anyone who is remotely informed on what was going on. We're going to get right into today's podcast. Now, this is two question answers in 1 week. We had over 700 emails for the podcast we did earlier this week. I don't remember what day it was.
I don't either.
And we had over 1,000 for today. And so, a couple of things I want to tell you. Number one, you need to go back and watch the podcast where you see Shannon and I. Shannon is only on the podcast asking your questions. And by the way, it's because y'all asked for that. Number one. Number two, send an email, Spartan Nation Mail, MAIL at yahoo.com. Spartan Nation Mail, MAIL at yahoo.com. And put in the subject line Raiders Q&A. Keep it very short, one email per email address per week. If you do more, it goes to spam. It just automatically goes to spam. You'd be shocked at the number of people who my spam folder lives full. I'm told they empty it every single day. They don't even look, they just empty it every single day. So send us, and then, but go back and watch. There were literally, I was told, hundreds of questions this week on stuff I've already answered. So we got a lot of stuff to get into. Please do that. Remember, you don't have to agree with me. I'm not God. There are times that I report stuff I disagree with, but I report it because it's accurate and I disagree with it. So you're not going to hurt me. Shannon will tell you, we've been married a long time. Do I get angry when you disagree with me?
No.
Just all right. And so, but get those in. We'd love to hear from you. And so what they do is they take them, and if there's one or two, and there were several this week, that multiple people asked the same question. That's why it was presented to me. Do you think you mind doing a second one? So we're going to dig into it. I bet somebody may have a Max. I have not looked at the question.
I'm sure there's a ton of
I'm sure there's
Maxx
Maxx Crosby questions.
I haven't read any.
We'll get into a lot of them. I do want to tell you, a lot of people got blocked on social media. I thought this was really funny, but I am going to take you on a deep dive on what went wrong last year, the departure of Maxx, which goes back even before last year, Patrick Graham, Pete Carroll, on all of it. I am totally focused on free agency now for the next week. I would anticipate probably next weekend, like a week from today, or maybe even 10 days from today, which right now I'm taping this on a Saturday. I think it's 1 o'clock, but I will start writing it then. It's going to be lengthy with a ton of information, so it's going to take a while. And if I had to guess, I probably won't. Well, I don't know when it would come out, but anyways, it's going to come out. But somebody, I blocked them, because of the way. Well, I didn't block them. Actually, one of the staff members did, but Hondo's going to wait till everybody else releases all their in-depth stuff, then he'll act like it's just him. Okay, genius. Well, let me just tell you, when I months and months and months, when I asked you to bookmark the tweet on before a preseason game, tonight's going to shape the season, and it was about Devontae. I guarantee you I have information that I know others don't have. And it'll really take you behind the curtain and tell you a lot. So look forward to writing that. It's going to be a long, long, long piece, but I think it will show you a lot. So let's just get right in now. We got a lot to go. You look exhausted. Are you tired?
A little bit. I'm not exhausted, but
You look exhausted. I'm the one who should be.
you should be. You've been up all night.
So, anyways, I mean, a lot going on. Let's get at it. So here we go, Shannon. Fire away.
All right. Mr. Hondo I owe you another name.
Wow.
I owe you a major apology. When you talked during the Super Bowl about Max and a trade, you said it was real, that you thought the Raiders should fix it, but it was real and you would talk about it when it was over in a deep article. I said a lot of nasty things to you and about you, including that you were simply trying to get clicks. This is not a dirty email, but my comments were. I was angry and didn't want to believe it. You blocked me on Twitter, but I am sorry. See Augustus. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I didn't actually block you. That would be one of the staff members who did. If you're blocked, I don't know that. But let me just say this to you. Um, I appreciate your apology. You certainly didn't have to do it, and I appreciate that. If I was just after clicks, I would have told you guys everything about Devontae the night it happened. It was preseason. And then it would have thrown gas on the team for the whole year. There were things early last year. Remember, I think it was week 5, 6, 7, when you and I were driving on the road and I reported in the podcast about that phone call when I said Patrick Graham won't be back. I could have thrown gas on the fire then. I could have thrown gas on the fire after week 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And it's not just about clicks, it's about responsible journalism. And you absolutely have a right to know. I don't have a problem with you wanting to know, but I believe I also have a responsibility to report it in a responsible way. And why ruin the season for a lot of good people? It was already going to be ruined, but that's not a reporter's job. And so I knew it was information I had. I talked to my bosses about it. What is that?
I have no idea.
I don't know if you guys could hear that noise, but so anyways, we're on it, and I think it's going to be incredibly enlightening. But I want you to know that takes a lot of guts. So see, Augustus, if you will send me an email with your Twitter handle, I will make sure that you get unblocked. Appreciate you.
Hondo, I admire the way that you toe the line and openly admit that you are not a fan. I also know that you do not hide that you care deeply and personally about Max. So when the deal is going on and it happens, how did you feel personally?
Ooh.
Sean.
How did I feel personally? All right, I'll tell you a couple things. I felt bad because I didn't think it had to happen.
Mhm.
That's why I kept saying, Raiders, certain members, fix this.
Mhm.
And you know it didn't have to happen.
I know.
And
I'm very sad that it happened too.
I
I
feel
don't like it.
but the Raiders did a great job getting the most they could, and it could be a transformative haul. It was a great haul, but it came with a great cost.
Mhm.
So I felt bad. Um, I know how bad Max wants a championship. I don't think he's going to get one in Baltimore. I think Baltimore was held together by John Harbaugh. And I think they won because of John, not in spite of John. And I think Jesse Minter is a good coach, really good coach. Going to be a rookie learning curve, but I felt great for the Raiders with the haul that they got. I felt bad for the Raiders fans. And it's a divorce. It didn't have to happen.
Exactly.
I think, I think that's the best way to describe it.
It's a good way to put it.
But it was a divorce that didn't have to happen, but was absolutely going to happen after week for sure after week 16, and you know, because of some of the conversations, I think was leading towards that after week probably 12 or 13. So there you go.
Right. Hondo, we Raider fans are constantly hearing things like Brady is calling all the shots. What exactly does that mean? Ken M.
I don't know why you need an interpretation.
It means exactly what it means.
Tom Brady has the dominant voice in this organization. Everything that happens is either Tom or something Tom allows. John Spytek, Mark Davis said it, runs it in cooperation with Tom Brady. Tom Brady runs football operations, and if something happens, it is because Tom allowed it. I don't understand why that needs to be interpreted. What does that mean? Exactly what I said it meant.
All right. Hey, Hando, do you think Fernando Mendoza takes a lot of guff because he is outwardly religious like Derek Carr, or is it because he is going to the Raiders? Michael M.
I don't think it's either one. I think we live in a society that attacks authentic because we live in a synthetic world. And Fernando Mendoza, like him or hate him, is Fernando Mendoza. I have people all the time that want to tell me how not to do podcasts. Hey, don't mention God. Well, I can't help it. I love where the Bible says, I am not ashamed of the gospel. And I don't mean that because I think others are bad. It's because I know I am. And it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me. Or, you shouldn't do that. Or, Hondo, you should write all your deep dives as soon as it happens. No, I don't think it's integrous. And again, I guarantee you this, there are people who wouldn't tell me stuff if I would report it right then.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who I'm talking, multiple people. And so, no, I'm not going to, if I have to change who I am to get followers, I don't want followers. It's just like when people say to me, you're just doing that for clicks. Okay, here's my advice. If you think I'm doing something, do I want clicks? Of course I do. But if you think I'm doing stuff just for clicks, I would have written why in week 6 or 7 I said Patrick Graham was not coming back. And when I write the deep dive and you find out why I said that, you're going to be like, wow, I'm shocked he didn't write it then. When I go into the Maxx Crosby story and share things with you, you're going to be like, oh, wow, I can't believe you didn't write that. When I wrote the Devontae stuff, I actually had people email me saying, thank you for not writing this. I had people in the organization say, thank you for not writing that. And so do I want clicks? Yes. But if you think I make a decision, no, I make a decision based for an audience of one. And so going to Mendoza, Fernando is unashamed of who he is. He isn't trying to win you over. This is where people miss it with him. He is genuinely authentic. He is a great kid. Not because his faith is important, because I know a lot of great kids whose faith is not even a part of their life. Not even a part of their life. But he is unashamed, authentic. Now, there are some people who think he doesn't fit with Raider Nation because there is a reputation of Raider Nation because they see the black hole. Oh, they're thugs. They're scary people. Let me tell you something. My mother, when we moved to Vegas to cover the Raiders, she was afraid of Wayne Mabry, the Violator. Oh, but what about that one guy who's so mean? And we're friends with Wayne. We love the Violator. Wayne is just a peach. And it probably hurts his reputation because he looks like this mean violator. Wayne is absolutely one of my favorite humans. I told my mom, I said, Mom, I would let Wayne babysit Dexter. And so let me just say this to you, okay? I think there are some people who think, whoa, man, he's kind of a not gonna. That's because people are judging Raider Nation are some of the finest, nicest. I've met members of Raider Nation that are atheists. I've met members of Raider Nation that are evangelical Christians. I've met members of Raider Nation that are Muslim and Buddhist and Catholic and Mormon and rich and poor and black and white, Republican, Democrat, Independent, nothing. I've met them all. And one thing, Raider Nation is great people. I think Mendoza's going to fit because I think Raider Nation in and of itself is authentic.
Yeah.
They're authentic. All you have to go to Lot J for a game, even if you don't have tickets. Go there the next time the Chiefs come to town and watch some little, we've seen it, a little girl wearing a Mahomes jersey, and watch Raider fans offer her food and candy and offer to invite the family, which are all in Chiefs gear, to join their thing. And I watched one guy all dressed up. She was this girl, this Chiefs girl was a little nurse. Remember that? And Carol and Holden Dexter and the little girl was a little nervous. He goes, "Oh, no, 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 sweetie. No, 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 don't be afraid." He's giving her candy, offering to give her a Raider jersey. And she's like, going to take it. The dad's like, "No, we're Chiefs fan." I'm going to tell you, Raider Nation is as authentic as they come. I think Mendoza will fit great. And I don't think it's because it's Raiders. I really don't. I don't think it's because of his faith. I, I don't think that at all. I just think we live in a synthetic world that doesn't know how to deal with authentic people. Was that fair enough?
Yeah, totally.
You are quiet. You are so tired tonight.
It has not. It's quiet.
It's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're still exhausted. And I'm the one that was up all night. All right, let's hurry so you can.
You're the one who's just. This is not for me. I asked the questions.
Okay.
I'm listening to you answer
All right,
them.
Pinky Tuscadero. Google it, kids. How many of our listeners are going to have no idea who Pinky Tuscadero is?
Oh, they probably.
No, they don't.
Maybe.
You wait. If you got gray hair, you know who Pinky Tuscadero. All right, let's go.
Uncle Hondo, with Kappa, Gino, and Max gone, is this why you have been saying the Raiders would have well north of 100 million in salary cap? I thought you had lost it. Caleb R. from Burbank.
Yes. Next.
Hondo, you have made reference to Q Myers from ESPN and Raider Nation Radio being
Good.
a friend.
He is a good friend. Q Myers from Raider Nation Radio, ESPN, has a podcast called Locked on Raiders podcast. He is a wonderful human being, a great husband, a tremendous dad. I don't like Q. I love him. I respect him. He is a great, great guy. Thank you for mentioning Q.
Well, hold on. Now I got to go back and actually add the question.
And I know Shannon greatly likes him too.
You have also made it clear you don't comment on other media.
I do not.
But with the friendship that you have, he said he had someone in the building once tell him that they saw Tom Brady's guy, Alex Guerrero, almost like an assistant GM. Have you ever heard that or something similar? Ken T. from Carson City, Nevada.
I have never heard him called an assistant GM. Have I heard him called something similar? Yes.
Okay. I understand taking lumps, but do you think the Raiders will tank the 2026 season? As fans, we would like to see the Raiders compete and steal a few games and maybe get lucky at the end of the season. The wait till 28 messaging feels like a surrender. Matt Vaughn.
I couldn't disagree with you more in a million years. I wrote an article about this on Friday morning about the 2026 season, setting up the biggest 27 NFL draft ever for the Raiders. To me, do you want to compete and get better? Absolutely. I play every single young guy and every loss I'm fine with. Let Mendoza learn his windows. Let the young guys, let your young coaches make mistakes. Get those high picks, because then you've got your franchise quarterback, and next year is expected to be the best year for quarterbacks in the draft in the history of the NFL. And you got 2 first-round picks and potentially both of them really super fantastic. I'm sorry, I don't even see. I understand just win. And I understand people who say, I just can't hope for losses. I respect that. I'm not a fan. I'm about rebuilding the franchise. Remember, I'm the one that said sit Maxx.
Yeah.
In week 8. So I'm sorry. I could not fundamentally disagree with you more. I respect your opinion. I'm not saying I think you're ignorant, I'm just saying I disagree with your opinion. Let's go.
You've talked a lot about that the
A
last
ton.
little bit too. Hey, Hendo, with the rebuild in full swing, the talk has been about investing in guys under 30 and taking our lumps now. My question is with Colton Miller. Should the Raiders trade him now and find a young replacement? So in 3 years, when we are ready to compete, we're not having to replace a key position on the O-line? Or do you think he can play at a high level another 5 to 7 years and be a part of this success? Thanks, Doug in Colorado.
Doug, I think he can play at least another 4 quality years. I mean, he is a top 5 left tackle in this league, and you're bringing in a rookie quarterback. You cannot get your rookie killed. He's on a very good deal. I think he'll be here for 4 years, but you're still going to be drafting someone to replace him at one point. But no, I would not trade Colton Miller with Fernando Mendoza coming in. Period. Not touch it. And he's 30. So there you go.
Right. Lord Hondo and Aunt Shannon.
It makes me feel like Lord Vader. What am I, your benevolent dictator? Let's go.
Oh, that reminded me of the show that you used to do.
Yeah, I had a radio show in the Midwest, Monday through Friday for over a decade.
Benevolent.
And I used to say, I am your benevolent dictator.
Oh, a longtime listener. I'm from the LA Raider scene, 40-year fan. Straight to the point. I'm concerned.
I love Raider fans. You guys are the best.
Who is going to become the leader in the locker room now that Maxx is gone? Richard in San Diego. That is a good question.
Richard, let me tell you why we're laughing. So Shannon has been literally arguing with me for weeks. They've got to fix it. We can't lose Maxx. I don't want to lose Maxx. I don't want Maxx.
I'm kind of a Maxx fan.
We love Maxx personally
Mm-hmm.
and professionally. Okay. And you too, Rachel and Emma, you are wonderful. In the Maxx Crosby Foundation, love the foundation. This is a great question.
It is.
There is going to be a massive void. One person won't be able to fill it. I think what I would say to you is I think Clint will be that big voice on the offense. Rob Leonard will be the big voice on the defense. And then you'll see some guys emerge, around week 3, 4, 5, 6 when you need them to. I think there's some good guys on this team who can be leaders, but no one's going to replace Maxx. You don't replace a unicorn. They'll take a group. And
excuse me while I go to the bathroom and cry.
I know. Last night, so I had put out, I expected the deal to be done by noon on Monday. Then yesterday I was informed that the deal was probably going to be done early this morning, Saturday morning. So we sat down as a family, and the moment I sat down, I had been working all day. I get a text. It said something like, "It's done, Ravens." And I'm like, "It's done." And you just went to bed. She just went to bed.
If I wake up in the morning, it's going to be a nightmare.
So anyways, there you go. And so what was the question? About
who's going to replace?
Yeah. And so what I would just say is I think it's going to be a leadership by committee, which isn't wrong. I've seen teams that win like that. I've seen some teams that win with one leader. I've seen some teams that win with leadership by committee. I've seen some teams that lead with one leader, but there's also a great committee. I just think this is why you take your lumps in 26, 27, you improve, but you still take some lumps, and then plan on 28 moving forward every year in the playoffs. And it's just going to be, I think you're going to see some guys step up who maybe aren't as vociferous as Maxx, but I think it's going to be committee, and it's going to be a learning process, and there's a long way to go, but it's going to be a fun journey to take.
Dear young man and lovely lady. Oh, you're young now.
I'm the young man, and it should say older lovely lady.
I am Raider Nation since 1967, a daily viewer. This is my first time emailing.
Oh, what did we say we're going to do for? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. First time emailer. Oh, I wish Dexter was here. I'd have Dexter go. We got to have Dexter get involved. First time emailers. Awooga. All right.
Last year, when Spills signed with the Pats during the Eagle tampering period, could the Raiders have still made a counteroffer before the league year began? Thanks for keeping it real, beautiful people. Mark, what a science fiction author in Indiana. Mark, I can't pronounce the last name. F-T-H Featherman?
Where?
F-T Mark Sean F-T-H-E-R-M-N.
Fitherman.
Science fiction author in Indiana.
I am a Star Trek and a Star Wars fan. So if you write that kind of sci-fi,
my dad likes Star Trek. I could never get into those planes.
send me a link there, Mark. Nice to meet you. Science fiction author. So what's the question here?
Could the Raiders have still made a counter?
Yeah. Before he signs his contract, they absolutely can.
Hando, with the Raiders moving to an A3-4 defense, what do you think of moving
Laki Tassi? Oh, Shannon let me read that because Shannon knows I love Laki Tassi. They moved him over to guard last year. This was a huge humanoid. I mean, one of his teammates told me, he goes, "Do you mean the planet?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Guy's as big as a planet." Oh, I could see him at the zero technique with his athleticism. I could see him at a zero, but I also like him at guard too. I think these are going to be good times. Laki Tassi, I want to see a Laki Tassi next year. Take your lumps and get you some Laki Tassi time. Not Laffy Taffy.
It sounds like a drink.
Not
Laki Tassi.
I'll take a Laki Tassi and hold the coconut. All right. No, and it's not a Laffy Taffy. I'm talking about Laki Tassi. I like me some Laki. I like him at guard because I love that athleticism. But could you imagine him as a zero the way he moved? Well, not you. If I meant that with respect. Anyways, I could totally picture Laki Tassi at the zero. Yes, please.
Next. Thanks, Gary. Did you hear?
If you heard that, Shannon did not pass gas. That was her stomach. We have not eaten yet. It has been a long night. I've not eaten yet.
My stomach is loud.
All right, let's go.
Mr. Carpenter, I have followed you for many years. I was first exposed to you on the old ESPN show Mike and Mike when they brought you on as the only media member who had Tim Tebow going in the first round. When you came to cover my beloved Raiders, I was beyond excited. Your talk of a lack of dudes in this NFL draft class is alarming. Is the college game killing the dude in the game because of money? Joseph from Port St. Lucie, Florida.
No, the college game is actually right now helping the NFL. It's the college game is hurting the college game, but it's helping the NFL game. That being said, no, it's just dudes or can't miss guys. And there aren't a lot of dudes. There just aren't. You know, a couple of years ago, there was Talise Fuaga, Joe Alt, Brock Bowers. I mean, there is not a lot of dudes. It's just the reality of what it is. And so lack of dudes does not mean a bad draft. There's a lot of really good players in this draft. That's why I said 14 to 16 to 18. First round gradable guys going to be in the second round. That's why those second round picks this year are more valuable than ever, just because there's not a ton of dudes. I mean, there never is a ton of dudes. Just can't miss guys. Khalil Max, Peyton Mannings, Andrew Lucks, Joe Alt, Brock Bowers, there just isn't a lot of them. But that does not mean it's a bad draft at all. No, the college game is killing itself. But that destruction is actually helping the NFL in a major way. Let's go.
Uncle Hendo and Aunt Shannon, I just wanted to say we are praying for Grandpa with his heart. Thank you. He is doing much, much better.
Yeah, Dad is doing better. Thank you guys for praying. Now, many of you know my father passed away, my birth father, but in our family, we don't use in-laws. But for the sake of you, so you'd know who you were praying for. Because sometimes I'll say pray for dad, and people are like, I thought Hondo's dad was dead. That's Shannon's biological dad. He's dad to me. I love him dearly. Thank you, so many of you, for praying for him. It was some tough heart times there. A couple of different procedures on his heart, but everything is doing good and it's ticking well. And thank God for His grace. So thank you for that.
On a football note, Unc, with the way that you love the running game,
No, I love the running game.
how big would signing K9 be for Ashton and Clint? Will from Montana.
Will from Montana. Signing K9, if they were to do it, would be an epic Christmas present to Fernando, to Clint, and to Raider Nation. It would be a balm on the wounded hearts. It would be a salve on the cuts and the wounds and the pain.
A salve.
Salve.
See,
sorry. I'm saying it with an accent. Sorry. It'd be a salve on the
salve. You said soft, like suave.
All right. Anyways, I would love to have some. Can you imagine K9 and Ashton on the same team? If I am Fernando, I'm sending a note to Clint Kubiak. Hey, coach. And I would send one to John Spytek and Tom Brady, because Tom runs a football operation. I'd say, hey, guys, if you go get Kenneth Walker, I'll buy all three of you any car you want. Any car. Pick it up.
All right. Hondo, I know you love Charles Snowden and
I
stuck
do.
for him with his off-field issues. What are your thoughts on the Raiders trying to keep him in a 3-4? Fred from Bakersfield, California.
They have, and I'm excited about it. I love Charles Snowden. Great kid. I absolutely know he had off-field issues, and you show me anybody that's ever lived a perfect life, because if you can, I only know one, and he is my savior. I don't know anybody else. Charles Snowden is a fine human being. Made a big mistake, but a fine human being. And I made big mistakes. And thank you, Lord, for grace and new opportunities. I really like Charles Snowden a lot, personally, professionally. I know Robbie Leonard loves him. I think he's going to do great in 3-4. Believe in him. I believe in him.
All right, Hondo, you've told us all along that Geno Smith would not be back and that you thought he would be released, not traded.
Yep.
Thoughts now that it is done. Peter from the Big D, Michigan. Detroit.
Oh, he's from the D. Anyways, I knew no one was going to trade for Geno because everyone knew the Raiders were going to cut him. And so I talked to several teams that were interested. In fact, you'll remember one. We were sitting at Longhorn Steakhouse when I got that call. And I answered the phone. I said, hello. I had it on speakers. I thought he was going to say hi to you because I told him I was going to dinner. And he said, I'm sorry, Shannon. I got to borrow your husband for a minute. And he goes, what are your thoughts on Geno? I said, really good guy. Gets emotional. Didn't have a good year. I said I was very critical when he flipped off the fans. I said he should have been suspended minimum. Should have been. I would have probably cut him if it were me. But I know what was kind of going on behind the scenes. I know what was going on there. I'm not justifying it at all. I said at the time it was wrong. I said at the time I would at least suspend him, if not cut him. But it didn't change the fact that I respected him. I know a lot of fans got mad at me yesterday when I wished him well, because listen, how many times do you want me to say it was stupid to flip off the fans? It was wrong. Should not have done it. How many times do you want me to say it? I would have suspended him and probably cut him. But doing something stupid doesn't make you a bad person. It means you did something stupid. Well, guess what? I am the king of the stupid club.
We all have.
And it doesn't Doing something stupid is a reflection of doing something stupid.
Exactly.
And
Doesn't
but
define you.
it doesn't define you. And what he did was stupid. What he did is wrong. I was as hard on him as anybody, but I got to know Gino the guy. And I know a lot of people said, "Oh, he wasn't sincere when he apologized." Well, you have every right to believe that. But if you haven't talked to him privately and had a chance to talk with him at length about it, I can understand why you would think that. I know he was that it bothered him. I know he was mad at himself. And sometimes people who run emotionally hot make some poor decisions. Sometimes people who aren't emotionally hot make poor decisions. And it was a terrible one that I think he should have been suspended or cut for. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy. And just means he did something stupid. And so what was the thing at the end?
Um, just wanted to know about released versus traded.
So I just knew there were a lot of teams. I told him, I said, I said the dysfunction of the Raiders did not help him last year in the least bit. And I'll get more into that when I do my deep dive article. And it didn't help him. And I said, and there was a couple guys I told him, I don't think he fits in your club. And there was a couple guys, like the guy when we were at dinner at Longhorn. I said, I think he fits great in your club because they're very buttoned down, very disciplined organization. I think Gino would fit great there. And again, that's just kind of because I just knew everyone knew they had to cut him. So why pay for him? There you go.
All right. Hondo, Alec Ingold was my favorite Raider.
Great guy.
A fullback and getting released. What would you say to have him back in Vegas? Please, Lord, please. Travis from Chico, California.
From your lips to God's ears, my brother. Let me check something here. Hey, Google. How old is Miami Dolphin fullback Alec Ingold? I think I know, but I want to make sure.
29.
29. Yeah, he's under 30. Bring him in. Draft Max Bredesen out of Michigan in the 7th round. Yeah. Please. Next.
Hondo, I remember when you told us that Will Putnam would make the team as a UDFA.
I did.
And now, hold on. And not they have extended him.
Now they have extended him. Yep.
What did you see at the time and how do you feel about him still, Robert?
I like Will. I like him a lot. I think he's an athletic guy. I think he's getting better. He's learning. And I think the best present for Will Putnam is Rick Dennison. The Raiders have not had an offensive line coach that I believed in like Rick since Carmen Brasillo. And and quite frankly, as much as I respect Carmen Brasillo and think Carmen's great, I don't think Carmen's Rick Dennison. And Rick Dennison and Jeff Stoutland were the two best in the NFL, and Jeff's not there anymore. So I think Rick's the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Great get. What a great get for Clint Kubiak. Great get.
All right. Han diggity do. I saw your classy post to Gino about him leaving on Twitter, and I was shocked for the anger and hate that you got from readers. I heard you on the pod say that he should have been suspended for flipping off fans, and you never excused his behavior. You even said he didn't succeed here. How do you balance the hate for just being respectful to someone, Raylan?
When fans are called fans, it's short for fanatics. And all Gino did is he came in here and got $60 million. He flipped off the fans. Fans are mad. I get all of that. I don't have one issue with fans saying he was a failure. He failed here. No argument. But how do I get the personal hate? I don't live my life for people's approval. If people want to get mad at me because I told a grown man, I wish you and your beautiful family nothing but the best, God bless you, they're the ones with the issue, not me. And if I was Mark Davis, would I have kept Geno Smith? Not a chance. If I was Mark Davis, I wouldn't have brought him in the first place. If I was Mark Davis, I would have cut him the day he flipped my fan base off. Okay, real clear. It doesn't change the fact I like him. I know him. You know how much I know and respect him, and I appreciate him. And he was under a ton of stress. It's not excused. What he did is unexcusable. But man, do we live in a society where somebody apologizes and now it's, well, you didn't apologize the right way. So what was he supposed to do? Take lessons on acting? So if he cried, it would have been real. I said to a man, it's been great to cover you. God bless you and your beautiful family. Somebody's going to get mad at me for that. They have the problem, not Hondo. So I literally don't care. I literally just don't care. No, don't care.
Hondo, you were hard on Gino, but always said you liked him as a man. I'm not sure if you saw it, but his salute to you was heartwarming. I'm glad he is gone, but I don't hate him, Hunter.
No, great one. I did see his salute to me. That was very kind of him. He didn't have to do that. He could have done it privately. Um, so yeah, I thought that was very kind, and that's the Gino that I know. That's the Gino that I know.
Okay, Hondo, I know you have said that you think Derek Carr could and would come back. You have also said no here because it was not so good. Please give us more information. I don't think he's heard the whole.
I said I think Derek Carr could come back and play in the NFL. I also said I think Derek Carr will come back in the NFL. I just said I don't think I would recommend him to come here. I think the relationship is too toxic. Derek is a great guy. I think he would be an awesome if I was an owner and Clint Kubiak was my coach and I was picking Fernando Mendoza, the first call I make would be to Derek Carr. He knows Clint's system. He's a professional. He's a great guy. He is going to fit with Fernando, but it is a very toxic relationship between him and the Raiders. I would not recommend Derek coming here to the Raiders. I wouldn't recommend it to Derek. Do I think there's a chance? Yeah, chance just because of that Kubiak connection. And I think it's so natural for him to coach Fernando or to be a mentor for him. But for both parties involved, please no. I don't want the toxicity for Derek. I don't want it for the Raiders. I care for both parties. It's just not good.
Hondo, if I remember correctly, a couple of years ago, didn't you tell the story about Lou Holtz nicknaming Dexter the law firm? I don't remember all the details. Could you tell the story again? Any thoughts on his death? Zachary from Virginia Beach.
Yes. So I met Lou in 87, summer of 87. I don't remember if it was June or July, and knew him a lot. He's been a great source. He's been a great resource to me. And a couple of people actually called Dexter the law firm. He was one of them. And that's amazing that people remember me saying that. Well, I guess I just talked about it on radio recently too. Yeah, that came from him. I'll tell you, what did it ask me?
Wanted the story about it and then wanted thoughts on his death.
So let me just tell you real quick. So Lou, I remember I had mentioned to him about us, God giving us the opportunity to adopt our son Dexter, who we just love. He is the apple. We love all of our children. Boy, but there's just something special about that little fellow. In fact, I've been so busy, obviously, with all the Maxx stuff, and he just wanted me to stop and read him. I think it was Green Eggs and Ham today, and I just stopped for 5 minutes to read him Green Eggs and Ham. And Lou, well, what are you going to name him? And I told him, Dexter Ernest Wayne Carter. What is he, a law firm? And so I explained to him, named after the grandpas. He thought that was fantastic. He loved it. He goes, remember, and I remember this touched you when I told you. Well, I think you were with me when he said it, maybe, but he says, just remember, best gift you can ever give a kid is love his mama with your whole heart. And I would not call Lou Holtz a friend. I would tell you that I had a great, very warm acquaintance relationship with him. Probably talked to him, I'm going to guess, 10 times a year. Maybe some years 8, some years 14. But I tremendously respect Lou. I cared about him, and I'm going to be at his funeral. So I forward to going down there and celebrating his life at his funeral. And again, great respect for Lou Holtz and wonderful human being. Let's go.
Hondo, is it fair to call Geno Smith's era in Las Vegas a complete disaster and waste? Matthew from Chicago.
Well, you paid $60 million to get Fernando Mendoza and the #1 overall pick. So Fernando Mendoza turns out to be your Peyton Manning, your Ken Stabler, your Jim Pluckin, or your Rich Gannon. No. If he doesn't, whoa, was a big failure.
Yep.
Ask me that in a few years.
Hondo, I appreciated that while you and Geno had a warm relationship, you were also able to be critical. Now that he isn't here, could you just tell us about him, the person? I always enjoy learning about the people these men are. Brian from Denver.
Yeah, Brian, I'm not going to get into a lot because any private conversations off the record I have are private. But I am going to tell you when Gino flipped off the fans, he felt terrible. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail because that would not be fair to Gino. Let's just say he's a dad, and it was not directed at the fans in totality. And I know he greatly regretted it. Him and I talked about it privately. I wish Raider fans would have been able to see what I saw privately. I wish they would have seen that. And he was well aware that I said on my podcast that he should be suspended. And if it were me, I would have cut him. He was well aware that I said that. But he was also well aware that I liked him. Mm-hmm. And he just made a mistake. And so I wish fans would have gotten to see that. I hate that at his Tuesday press conference or whatever day it was, Wednesday, he had to address it there. That's a very uncomfortable situation. And again, should have never happened. It doesn't change the fact if I was Mark Davis, I would have suspended him or cut him. But I wish fans had gotten to see that side. They didn't. And he's not a victim. Got 60 million large. Mm-hmm. But I wish people had gotten to see that. Boy, a lot of Geno questions. That surprises me.
Hondo, I know that you know Kirk Cousins and didn't think he should come to Las Vegas in the past. How about now to mentor Mendoza? S. Garcia.
Great. No issues with that. I would not have wished last year on anybody that I love or care for.
Good.
I think Kurt would be great. I think he'll get a chance to go somewhere else, though, more competitive and where he can possibly win. But I think Kurt would be great for Fernando. Kurt would be great for Fernando.
Hondo, I saw you on TV talking about Dylan Parham. Getting a lot of questions from other teams. Do you really think anyone would want him? Chris from Santa Fe.
I don't even understand that question. Do I think anybody want Dylan Parham? Yeah, there are multiple teams. Thank you for watching me on TV, though. Yes, at the NFL Combine, I had several guys, multiple people ask me about Dylan, what I thought, what happened, asked me about things they had heard since the old staff was let go. Those guys all talk. Yeah, Dylan is not going anywhere. He's in the NFL and he's got a bunch of teams that want him.
All right. Hondo, I loved seeing you on TV breaking down the Maxx trade. And I have a question. You said early in the year on a post-game podcast that the Raiders would get 2 first-rounders. Even this week. How did you know that? Great call, F. Harris.
Well, it wasn't really a great call. It's great connections. And people were telling me even around this year, multiple people. Yeah, I'd give two for him. Yeah, I'd give two for him. I'd give two. And then a couple people say, I think this team would give three. And I remember telling you guys that. And I won't say what team, but I remember saying to a guy, why would they give 3 1s? He said, because that's a teams with a lot of young players who's close to winning a championship. And remember this, X amount of your money, each pick comes with a dollar value. And so that's money you can't save. It kind of goes in your savings account because you have to save it to sign your rookies. So for every pick you don't have, that's money on your salary cap you get to spend on veterans.
Mm.
So there were a couple of teams, and you could probably figure out who had veterans, didn't really need any players, and adding a max would be cool. And if you gave up 3 1s, you don't care because you got a lot of really good and some young players you have to re-sign. So it frees up money in your salary cap. Max has a very friendly deal. However, both teams, there was one in particular that I know factually was thinking three first, that because of some things that have happened with the franchise, that was no longer possible. But I knew all along because I knew multiple teams that told me they were willing to give up 2 1s.
All right. Not football.
Ladies and gentlemen, warning, warning, warning. The next question has nothing to do with football. So if all you want is football questions, please turn off your computer now. Because if you keep listening and you bitch, moan, complain, or in any way bellyache because the next question had nothing to do with football, everyone's just going to know that you're a drama king or queen just looking for attention. Thank you. Please be advised and address this matter right now. Go ahead. Non-football question.
This is for you. Hondo, I appreciate how you love Shannon, your family, your faith, and Raider Nation. You are passionate, warm, and almost fearless in the face of criticism. I know that your faith is important. It is not something that I share, but I do respect yours. Outside of faith, what else makes or helps you be that way? Ben from San Bernardino.
All right. So Ben is his name.
Mhm.
Ben, I don't know how I can talk about outside my faith because my faith is everything to me. It's more important to me. This lady right here is my best friend, and my faith is a million times more important to me than her, and her faith is a million times more important to her than me. But if I had to take faith out of it and tell you something that's important, it's be authentic. I don't care. Nobody wants people to hate them.
Right.
No, no normal human wants people to hate them.
Mhm.
But I think well-balanced people don't care if people hate me. I don't care. Eh, okay. I hate you. All right. Hey, I'll tell you a funny story. I had a person say to me one time, how come you talk about other media on your show that you like? I mentioned Q Myers early in the show. I love Q. Q is a great reporter who does an awesome job reporting on the Raiders.
Mhm.
You know, Q and I share so many things in common. We're both Nike sneaker guys. We love Nike tennis shoes. Okay. We both have lost a child, which is a club I hope nobody should be able to join in. We both are media guys. He is as authentic. There is nothing about Q Myers that is inauthentic. I genuinely respect him. Okay. Talking highly about Q doesn't make Hondo a bad journalist.
Right.
We're not enemies. We're not enemies. Be authentic. I'm a hunter. I love my wife. I enjoy being a dad. My faith's important to me. Okay. I I don't feel the need to be who I'm not.
Mhm.
I just don't. That goes right over my head. I know some people who are in the media that sadly are not the person that they portray. And what I mean by that is not like they're bad people. And I feel bad for them because they live trapped in their own life.
Right.
You know what? I'm an idiot, saved by grace.
Me too. I mean, I'm not going to laugh at you. I'm going to laugh with you because I am too.
And so be you, be authentic. I heard somebody say this one time. I don't even, let me ask this question. I'm going to whisper something. I'm going to have Shannon look this up and I'm going to share something with you. But I heard a guy say, why dye a cheap copy when you can live as a valuable original? Be who you are. Let me share something with all of you at home. Shannon's helping me here. What's the number?
39 to 928 million.
Okay. So let me just say this to you. When your mom and dad made you, according to what Shannon, who's the medical person, just told us, there were 39 to nearly 39 million to close to 1 billion sperm present.
Some pretty good odds.
So at one point in your life, you have either beaten 39 million to 1 or roughly 1 billion to 1 odds. The fact that you are here is a miracle. You are a miracle. You in and of yourself are a miracle. Why be fake?
Yeah, it's true.
Be you. Be you.
Very true.
Be you. And it was somebody, but somebody doesn't like me. Why do you care? It's your life. You only get one life to live. Wasn't there like
a soap opera called One Life to Live?
I thought it was a movie. It's a soap opera.
Yeah.
You only get one life. God gives you that one life. Listen, I want every one of you listening. If you've screwed your life up, if you've ruined your life, if you're in prison, or maybe you're in a bad spot. Maybe Shannon and I recently met a homeless girl by the name of Avi. We offered to pay for her to go to rehab, and she said, I just said, don't waste our money if you're not sincere. What was her drug? It was heroin, right? And I said, sweetie, if you're willing to go to rehab, we will get on an airplane and actually and fly you there. We'll take care of it. And I said, but if you're not going to do it, please don't wait. And she said, I'm not ready. And but I said to her, we did a what did she call
Pinky
it?
promise.
Pinky promise. I said, when you hit bottom, when you hit the bottom, if you don't die, because the chances are heroin's going to kill you, will you call us? When you see every person that you come across as a unique individual, when you see your life like that, I don't care what you're going through, it's worth living. And some of you are trapped. You're trapped because you're synthetic. Come on now. I don't care if you're 15 or 115. Make the pledge today. The rest of my days on this earth, I'm going to be authentic. When you screw up, you just admit I screwed up. When you fail, I admit I failed. Quit worrying about what everybody thinks. Okay, let me give you a great example. I love Shannon. I love her hair when it's curly. Okay, this
is your hint.
No, she likes this haircut. I like Shannon. So however she wears her hair, I'm going to like it. She doesn't have to live her life for Hondo. I want her to enjoy what she, because you know why? I love her. And I don't want her, if she doesn't like curly hair, I don't want her to have it. I like it, but I don't want her to have it because she doesn't like it. And be authentic. If I have to be something, if I had to lie to you and pretend I was a Raider fan for you to watch, I don't want to live my life. I do a podcast every day. I don't know. I'm sure there are people who do it. I'm not saying I'm the only one. I don't know of anyone who does, because I have a lot of people like, why do you do one a day, 365 days a year? But be authentic. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. Be authentic. You are a miracle. You may say, I'm not a person of faith like you, and that's okay because I'm not better than you, but you still are a miracle. However, you cut it, you're a miracle. Be authentic. Goodbye, everybody. God bless you. We'll see you soon.